Gail Teixeira, Guyana's Minister of Parliamentary Affairs and Governance, said amendments are on the cards to the Integrity Commission Act. The mandate of that commission is to administer and enforce the Integrity Commission Act, which comprises the Code of Conduct and declarations of income, assets, and liabilities. Speaking with reporters on the sideline of a corruption workshop with the private sector, Teixeira said one of the areas of weakness that will see amendments is to address conflict of interest.
One, there are areas of weakness in terms of conflict of interest that needs to be further defined and strengthened in the commission itself, in the act itself. A simple amendment we're making is that right now you report from June to June, which is very awkward for the declarants. And so one of the main amendments we're making to make it easier for declarants, less excuses in other words, and that is on a fiscal year, calendar year. So you'll report in April the same time. The proposal is to report the same time when you do your income tax. You also would do the same year for the Integrity Commission. So it'll make it easier for those. There are other amendments that are going through to update it, including strengthening the reporting mechanisms, etc.
The minister responded to the issue of penalties.
Well, I'm sure, but also part of that, remember, has to go through the court, so that if you are found guilty of certain offenses, then you are then charged and taken to court. So that not all of the offenses are, just if you're late in submitting or you didn't submit. One of the views the Commission has taken, this Commission runs the Integrity Commission, and that is that the shame and blame game, that if we publish the names of those who haven't declared, that this might make them be a little more sensitive and try to comply with the law. It has in some cases worked, in others it hasn't. So, and the other areas of electronically submitting your declarations and putting that in the law to enshrine it so that people, and to make sure it doesn't get hacked and all those things, because people have private information. So I think that will be hopefully coming before the end of the year into Parliament.
She was the first to admit that we have weaknesses in the system.
I think there are weaknesses in what we have, and we have to work harder on that. But I think that in terms of investigation and moving with alacrity with investigation, those are areas we have to work more on, and also the judiciary. I don't want to have a big spiel of the judiciary, but things take too long. And so we have to have, it's a combination in the anti-corruption areas that we have to look at thorough investigations that are based on evidence and facts that can hold up in a court of law. If we don't have that continuum between the investigation and the court, then you're going to lose cases, or cases may never get there, or cases are thrown out because of lack of evidence. So the strengthening under the criminal justice sector programs, and the judicial sector reform programs, those two are critical in the anti-corruption. They may be dealing with things that don't look like anti-corruption, but it's to do with capacity. And so if someone is found guilty, let's get the process moved through quickly, let it be dealt with expeditiously and efficiently throughout the investigation and in the courts, so that people get the message. If it takes 5 years to deal with a case in court, nobody's going to take it seriously and say, well, you could be corrupt and get away with it, and you get bail. So you're on the road, you're fine. So I think that's the kind of messages we have to send, and that's by developing the capacity to deal with these in an efficient and transparent manner.
It's unclear at this point if most of the public officials in this country are making the required declaration to the Commission, which is in keeping with the law.